Shalom. So the question is the Ark of the Covenant in Axum, Ethiopia? So let us go to the book of Maccabees and we'll get some information on where it actually is. This is 2 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, "It was also contained in the same writing that the prophet, being warned of God, commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him as he went forth into the mountain where Moses climbed up." So we're understanding that into the mountains, but no, it specifies that the mountain where Moses climbed up. Now we have to see what mountain was this. It says, where Moses climbed up and saw the heritage of God. So let us go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 9 and verse 8. It says, "Also in Horeb ye provoked the Lord to wrath, so that the Lord was angry with you to have destroyed you, when I was gone up into the mount to receive the tabernacles of stone." Let us go back to the book of 2 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, where Moses climbed up and saw the heritage of God. Now we understand that's talking about Mount Horeb. It says, "And when Jeremiah came thither," meaning when Jeremiah went there, "he found an hollow cave, wherein he laid the tabernacle, and the ark, and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door," meaning the door was sealed. And not only that, there was a veil because they couldn't find it anymore. And you'll see that it says, "And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it." So there was a veil. The place was veiled from their eyes. They couldn't recognize it anymore. Right? So it says, "And when Jeremiah came thither, he found an hollow cave, wherein he laid the tabernacle, and the ark, and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door." So before the invasion of Nebuchadnezzar, they removed these things. So the Nebuchadnezzar, they took a lot of things, a lot of gold and treasures from the temple, but the ark was not among them. Let us go to the book of 2 Kings, chapter 24, and verse 13. It says, "And he carried out thence all the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king's house, and cut in pieces all the vessels of gold which Solomon king of Israel had made in the temple of the Lord, as the Lord had said." So yes, they took all these treasures, but the ark was not there. Let us go back to 2 Maccabees, chapter 2, and verse 6. It says, "And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it." Why? Let us go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, and verse 15. Let's go to 16. It says, "And it shall come to pass, when ye be multiplied and increased in the land, in those days, saith the Lord, they shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of the Lord, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it." So that's the reason why they couldn't find it. It was prophesied what would have happened, right? So all of this took place in Mount Horeb. Now let us get more understanding on this Mount Horeb. Let us go to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 17. It says, "And it came to pass that when thou leadest his seed out of Egypt, thou broughtest them up to the Mount Sinai." So what we're seeing here is that they left Egypt and they went to Mount Sinai, right? Let us go to the book of Exodus chapter 19 and verse 1. It says, "In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai." No, they left Egypt, right? On the 15th day, of the first month. They arrived in Mount Sinai the 15th day of the third month. That means they took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 weeks. 8 biblical weeks, not 8 Gregorian weeks. Right? So you can see here they took 7 Sabbaths and another 7 days to get to that point. No, they left from Egypt to Sinai. It took them 8 weeks. Remember, they left Egypt. They're no longer in Egypt. So what is this telling you about Sinai and Egypt? The wilderness of Sinai was never part of Egypt. Who did it belong to? Let us go to the book of Genesis chapter 17 and verse 8. It says, "And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger." What land was Abraham a stranger in? In the land of Canaan, right? It says, "All the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God." So Sinai, this was under Canaan, this entire region. Abraham dwelt there, Isaac dwelt there, Jacob and the 12 tribes. It was given into their hands for a possession. At the time, Abraham was not a ruler. He was just sojourning among the among the people of the land. Now, what you see with the Israelites under Moses was what you saw with Abraham and what you saw with Adam. Abraham had to live out of the land of Ur, right? To go to the land where the Most High wanted him to be. So he moved from one place to another place. He took the children of Israel out of Egypt to go to this place, very fertile land. He took Abraham from one place and put him in the garden. It's always the same thing happening over and over. Now, so the Ark of the Covenant was buried same place here in this region. Why is there a doctrine about it being in Axum? Because Rastafarians believe that the Ark is in Ethiopia through Menelik, right? Now the thing is, Menelik, which they claim is a son of Solomon, which in our record Solomon had 2 daughters and 1 son, right? He had many wives, he was with many women, but we never have any record of him having many children. Just 2 daughters and 1 son. Now let's say, matter of fact, he has been with many nations, the Moabites, the Ammonites, this one, that one, right? The Queen of Sheba, we have no records of Solomon had any form of intimate relations with the Queen of Sheba. She just went there to seek out the wisdom, paid tributes, and she left. No records of him being close to her, much more to get a child from her. Now, let's say this woman, Sheba, had a son called Menelik that came out of Solomon, right? If the Rastafarians, they profess this child, this son of Solomon, then what nation would that be? Because Solomon did not start a new nation in the earth. So how do you claim Menelik, your ancestor, but you do not claim the nation of Israel to be your lineage. That's confusion. Now let us get some insight on this kingdom of Axum, right? Let us go to the book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 6. It says, "And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan, and the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Ramah, and Sabteka, and the sons of Raamah, Sheba, and Dedan." Now, take a look at the map on your screen. Remember the names of the sons of Cush, right? When you're dealing with the Cushites, right, they had two different civilizations. They had one in Axum that you see here, and this spreads all the way over to Arabia. They control those areas as well, right? Now, you have another civilization that was in Napata and Meroe. Those were their main cities. Now, these people, the Napata and Meroe, the people of Napata and Meroe, they were subservient to the crown of Egypt. They used to pay tributes in gold, silver, cattle, men for fighting, and so forth, right? Now, after the Libyan kings of Egypt was coming to an end, that was when they rose to power. So they established their supremacy. The Ethiopians, the Cushites, they established their supremacy in Egypt in that time. They reigned for a period of time until who came to power? The Assyrians. But in the time of their reign, they were very powerful. Matter of fact, they were one of the most powerful kingdoms at the time. You had the Persians and the Romans and so forth. They were a very powerful kingdom. No, the children of Israel, they had nothing to do with this region down here. So now that we've seen where the location of Axum was, we know that it had nothing to do with the children of Israel. It had nothing to do with the Ark of the Covenant. It had nothing to do with Amenelek. It had nothing to do with the Negus Nagas. So the Ark of the Covenant is in the same place where the Most High gave to Moses and Moses gave to the children of Israel, which was in the land of Canaan at that time, which later became the land of Judah. Shalom.